So I'm just sitting here reading. I've seen this is anti-Catholic material, as they call it, from a Catholic source. Actually, Catholic.com. And yeah, just going through some of it. I need to find the book of William of Oran's Apology from 1581. I've read some of it, but it's, apparently I thought it says it's like this anti-Catholic tract. I would expect the tract to be, small reading, but it seems like it's more like a book or something. I need to figure that out anyway. Was written by a Huguenot, and I think the Huguenots was the ones being thrown out of France. The Protestants was growing in France, and there was 10% at the point of, they came to be as much as 10% Protestants and growing in France. And I have the thing where they set up in regards against the mass and all that, and I think that was, I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, they were kicked out of France. Apparently it has not much liberty in regards of, now, of course, if it's the Catholics, they want, freedom of religion, but it doesn't go really the other way. It's only when they are like, when they, are in the minority and so forward, then they want freedom of religion. Well, it's, anyway, just step by step taking over and Romanizing everything with anyway. So it's also said this was based on the discovery and plain declaration of sundry subtle practices of the so-called Holy Inquisition of Spain, published in 1567. So that's another thing to check out, I guess. That's much to check out. Then they go on in regards of the Inquisition as depicted in Reformation anti-Catholic propaganda. Yeah, it's only propaganda. They always use all these words. And when you see how they operate, it's not even a secret in some sense. If you just look, you can see how they operate. This guy that comes into a Protestant bookshop and just, oh, I found anti-Catholic material. What do I do? And they give him, oh, you should, if it's this and that and all that, you should, try to talk to the manager and get it removed, and And then another article I read in regards of a Catholic, in regards of we shouldn't, it shouldn't be tolerated. Oh, so you got offended that someone is speaking. Oh, it's not. Oh, we shouldn't tolerate it. So you're removing Protestant material, which is in regards of course, the Antichrist and the whole riding the beast and so forward. In regards to the little horn of Daniel. In regards of being Roman in nature and so forward, Satan hates that, So that is what they are operating after, we shouldn't tolerate, and just, it's getting old, but it's, you just see it, everywhere. Well, I guess, when you begin to dig in it, you see it here and you see it there, and you just how they speak with two tongues in some sense, where they say, oh, this and that on one side, but then on the other side, they actually show their real colors. And of course, with the internet, it's really hard to actually, it slips through. And yeah. Anyway, so it talks about anti-Catholic propaganda, like John Fox's book of Martyrs. Oh, really? It's just propaganda. Okay. Edgar Allan Poe's The Pit and the Pendulum. Now, I saw that video, and I don't know about that video. I don't know, in regards of being anti-Catholic, I don't know about that either. There's another video actually in regards of exposing this system that is just much, much better. Sadly, I can't remember the name of it. I think I still have it on my computer, at least written down the name. But that's in regards of, I think, Spanian and this young guy that ends up turning to, well, actually first he ends up actually spilling some beans in regards, and then yeah, they're going to get burned on the stake, and anyway, that seems to be much more of but Edgar Allan's Poe, The Pit and the Pendulum, shows, I guess, some of the horrifying instruments that they used. And just if you just look on the internet, you can find all these instruments actually in somewhere. They like how anyone could just make these things up. It just has to be it's totally demonic. Just this is the most awful, and just what it's called, most cruel, torture methods that I think man has invented, and that's thanks to the so-called Holy Inquisition, right? It's just they're maniacs. They're totally maniacs. How could anyone come up with these tools except they were working for Satan? Just incredible. Then there is a movie that talk about D.W. Griffith's film Intolerance. I haven't seen it. It's like a stunning movie, whatever, but I haven't really had the energy to see it. So actually, I'm pretty low on a lot. My brain as well is pretty fried as usual. Of course, there's so much things, but anyway. Nice to find out what is actually going on more and more in regards of, why wasn't I taught this in school? Why have this been kept away from us? And how can all the information in regards to, the television is just showing crap. It's literally just showing crap. Books are just crap. Just these books, nowadays modern books, it's just, filthy books of crap, Lord of the Rings, or Harry Potter or whatever. It's crap. It's just pagan crap. That's what it is. Why would we just waste our time on these, the computer games as well? And you can make computer games that is non-violent, and you can learn something like, games for instruments, It doesn't have to be violent. I was like, nearly every game out there is like a violent, But you can actually make learning games that are pretty good, actually, and pretty fun. Just have to break that barrier of Satan, how to play the flute or something like that, and play some good, good Christian tunes from, the days of old or whatever, It's just it can be made. It's just, yeah, anyway. Or, piano or whatever, we have the ability to make it fun and, learn something at the same time. Good Protestant, tunes, like singing against the Antichrist. And hopefully I'll find more songs in regards to that. But anyway, so we have Master Key to Popery. And this is one of the tricks, one of the Roman Catholic tricks, Alberto Rivera, said he was a Jesuit, but no. The Roman Catholics knows better. Apparently, he wasn't a Catholic. Apparently, okay, he wasn't a Jesuit. Sorry, priest and all that. But actually, I think there was a Spanish magazine that actually testified to him, by the way. But sadly, I've not been able to get that magazine. But anyway, I don't know what happened to his ministry at all. I know his wife, but I'm not sure where his, as I understand it, he has a son, a living son, but I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's, it's called, what's it called? Antichrist. what's it called? AI Information Center. Wonderful name. Absolutely wonderful name. Sadly, I have a thing of forgetting it, but just a wonderful name for a ministry. So it talks about this master key to popery. They say it has it all, this book, and it's freely available. I have found it in different versions and all that. But like it says, what is it? Yeah, there we go. It's like, he said, who claimed to be a Spanish priest. So it's like, oh, he only claimed to be a Spanish priest. And actually, he actually goes into that in his book in regards of, some but not believing him and so forward. So he actually goes, talking about, and it's like, okay, so he just moved from Spain to England and, he just claimed to be a Spanish priest. It just doesn't, you're fleeing a country, why would he flee to England if... it's just... Anyway, so let's see... but they talk about that he has pretty much collected every attack that any Protestant from the 1800 could come up with. It's also, literature feature the alleged revelations. It's just alleged, it's just nothing true about it, it's just, he only claimed to be a Spanish priest and, and it just goes on and on and on. And that's the same trick they did with Alberto Rivera. It's just, oh, no, he was never a priest and so forward. Or they will, or in regards of the bishop, no, he was never a bishop, Or the other priest, no, that guy was never a priest and so forth. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on, Every time someone's, jumps ship from the Roman Catholic dying boat, or sinking boat, every time someone jumps ship, it's like, oh, they were never on board, And it's like, okay, they were never on board on the ship, It's just, anyway. They're just saying something about, this sinking boat, but, stinking death boat. Oh, it would be nice with some, see if we can actually get some, oh yeah, there we go. Some light. That helped. That actually helped a good amount. So they say the master key to popery, also called the dragon, the great red dragon. It's actually the great red dragon. Yeah, that's in regards of Satan. But anyway, had it all: seduction in the confessional, the horrors of the Inquisition, the Crusades, the image worship, the sale of indulgences, the idolatry of the mass, and the deceitfulness of church leadership. And sounds pretty good. Sounds like an interesting book. With some truth, It's also here in later editions that to impose Catholic belief, the Church has the particular aim of overthrowing America and American liberties. Oh, so Roman Catholics don't have, anything in regards of actually overturning America? Really? Really? Oh, it's just, just imagination of the Protestants. Oh, bullshit. Bullshit. That's what it is. Yeah, just incredible how they lie and deceive, and say this and that, and they can speak one thing and then they can just flip it around and it just shows that the Protestants are correct, and yet they will go, oh no, the Protestants got it all wrong, and yet that's just it's insane to read these people, how these people can it's just disgusting. Then it goes on, the master key to popery provide the blueprint for a host of so-called ex-priests. Oh, they're only so-called. It's only so-called ex-priest. Oh, yeah, you couldn't have, you couldn't think that there might actually be some priest that would jump ship from the Roman Catholic insane asylum, No, no, no. They're just, fake priests, whatever. So I guess if all the priests and all that actually turns to, are just, fakes, well, so there's no real, Roman Catholic priest, former that actually, jumps ship or whatever. Yeah, it's just, anyway, they just, so, provided the blueprint for the host of so-called ex-priest. Oh, by the way, wasn't there actually some Roman Catholics that also jumped ship like in the 16th century, in the beginning of the 16th century? That would be around 1500 years AD, according to Roman time, like Martin Luther, Zwingli, Andreas Karlstadt, Melanchthon, and William Tyndale, and so forward. They was just all deluded. They were never Roman Catholics. Just, whatever. They're just, whatever. They didn't know anything, right? Anyway, these guys, was pretty much former Roman Catholics. But, no, anyway, on different degrees and this and that and so forward. Anyway, so they say the master key to popery providing the blueprint for a host of, by the way, I had a Catholic contact in Denmark that I talked a little with. He ended up, he didn't like my, actually, there's a lot of messages he didn't like. Sometimes it's just so easy. In regards to that cookie Jesus and all that, it's just, give me a break. So apparently it got too much to him, so he blocked me. Anyway, I guess it was interesting as long as it went on, and I still hope that he will at some point open his eyes and think that crazy guy was actually right or something like that. You never know in the future. One can only hope. One can only hope. Yeah. More than anything else. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, yeah. So, for a host of so-called ex-priests who wrote the 10 preaching circuit or publishing their own revelations, including the enormously popular and still in print, 50 Years in the Church of Rome, 1886, by Charles P. Chiniquy. It's actually funny because that's one of the books that Alberto also talked about, and also Jack Chick also talked pretty good about the 50 years in the Church of Rome. And it's also a book from Chiniquy that is called 40 Years with Jesus Christ or something like that. That's the second book he wrote. And what did he get out of it? That's the thing, when the Roman Catholic Church are attacking these people for never being this and that, well, what did they get out of it? Besides maybe being murdered, it's just, anyway, says Chiniquy was a Canadian priest who came to the United States and was eventually thrown out from among, they will put out something, I guess I would need to read it for myself to see what was actually going on and see if it actually rings true according to Bible and all that. And that's, of course, the thing. Is it actually biblical, And that's one of the things that Alberto actually also pointed to in he has this interview that is really not going really good, I think. But I think I do understand what Alberto actually is, hinting at or pointing to in regards of, is it biblical? Is what I'm saying actually biblical, And he's talking to this Lutheran priest that seems to not know who the Antichrist is in this world and all that. So I guess he is, but it's a really bad way. I think it really, but we can have our bad days and all that, where it's, so But I don't think it went that too well. With another interview that really went really good with him was, when the SDA, or the Seventh Day Adventists, contacted him in regards of James, what was it called, James something, and maybe it went a lot better because they took him seriously. And they asked him some questions that is like, how would this guy know about these things if he wasn't for real? And it would have been nice to see more of that, in regards of, interview with Alberto. There are some other interview with him as well that I've just seen a little of again, where they talk about different. And I wish there was more material available on Alberto, and I don't know what actually exists out there, but there might be more, But it would be interesting to see what they actually had at their store in regards of Antichrist Information Center, because as I understand, they had different things, tapes and so forward, that they could sell out to people. And I would be interested. I don't know why anyone hasn't actually gone into this. Are people just, why, Alberto had, they had all these things, why is it not more, available, just, oh, well, my eyes are not blue like they were in my youth. Anyway, so that's kind of yeah. It's there must be someone that must be interested in Alberto's material and had collected it or something like that. Why? There must be someone out there that has a lot of it and could. But anyway. I also found the French guy. I need someone to be able to translate some French. Of course, there's Alberto as well and his wife in regards to Spanish as well. That would be interesting, but again, the translations, technology, I guess, 5 years down the road might actually be able to just do it on the fly. But at the moment, I haven't really found anything that can just do it on the fly. But maybe 5 years down the line, it will become available to translate from one language automatically to another language on the fly. So I know Google has, I've seen, but it's only on some videos apparently, but doesn't seem to work that well. But anyway, 5 years down the line, maybe things will maybe be, who knows? We'll have to see. Things are going pretty quickly nowadays, but it would be awesome to get this source of information on, to get access to that. I'm just, it's kind of annoying that that there's more information, but it's in another language that you can't decipher. So anyway, the master key to Popery is freely available and can be downloaded in PDF on this great website. I can't remember where people have tend to upload things freely, and people can download things freely. All the non-copyrighted material is actually the best, it seems, in some sense. There are, of course, some newer things but there's huge amount of old material where they just knew a lot more than we know today. It's just awesome, and it's free. So anyway, and we like free. Free is the way to go. So let's see here. Also in regards to graveyard under the convent for the slaughtered babies of the nuns. Well, I've heard that before. That's Awful Disclosures from 1833. Awful Disclosures of Maria Monk. The Grail of Anti-Catholic Books. was said to be the one of the most widely read books in the 19th century America. Monk claimed to tell the story of her life in the convent, a tale of perverse Catholic priest. And this is not the only story we have about that, by the way. There was, which I think I have on the video on my mobile somewhere, a nun, and it begins with, that, when the Pope is apparently coming to their nation, and they said, ask the Pope about where she went. She went missing. So 2 years after she made this, as I understand it, she went missing, and one have to wonder what happened to her. Well, maybe the Roman Catholic insane asylum, crazy Daisy institution got their hands on her, and who knows, probably killed her, murdered her, but that's, she has an interesting, she has some interesting things to say as well. But anyway, there's a lot of nuns that seems to come out and talk about these things that is going on. So I don't know how many nuns I've listened to, but it begins to add up. That's for sure. Here it says the story was quickly proven to be a hoax. And Monk a fraud. Really, I would like to see those sources, before just because you claim something doesn't make it true, We have the Roman Catholic Church claiming this and that. Anyway, I haven't seen the material. I don't know. I haven't researched deeper into it and all that. Just interesting to see what the Roman Catholics would talk about in regards of anti-Catholic material, right? One have to be careful, that video they talked about in regards of the Spanish Inquisition and all that. It's not really Christian, it's in some senses. It's just in regards of Roman Catholicism. And some witchcraft and all that, and it doesn't really have any Protestant message in it at all. So how they think it's, well, anyway. Then we have American Freedom and Catholic Power in 1949, they say. Apparently, that's a newer version, I guess, a book. Another one is An Embarrassment of Riches. Regards Pope Pius XII as a Nazi collaborator. This legend began in earnest in 1963. And that's in regards to a thesis in John Conwell's Hitler's Pope. Now, of course, the Catholics will say that Conwell, is, didn't get it right and so forward. Well, Conwell was still a Catholic. That's a sad thing. Here this guy gets access to the Vatican in regards of the Second World War, and then he finds out all these wicked things, and he continues to be a Catholic, and he defends it like, oh well, there's like good poops and bad poops or whatever, something like that. I can't remember. It's something. It was like, come on, wake up, And this guy is a historian, as far as I remember, and you can see the interview on YouTube. And he wrote this book, and he was a Roman. Well, I don't know if he's actually alive anymore. But this guy sounds like he's pretty settled on Roman Catholicism. And he's like, oh, well, there's, bad poops and there's good poops. And, well, all of them, of course, are bad. But anyway, we're all bad, actually. That's why we need Jesus and we need to repent. But anyway, so I've read things in regards of John Conwell's, where they say, no, but real historians, say otherwise and this and that. Well, those real historians didn't have access to the Vatican library. And actually, some of the things that John Conwell says fits with other things that you can see out there. So it just adds up, some of the things that they try to hide. And he just opened the door, I guess. I haven't read his book, but, interesting interview nonetheless. And he's a Catholic. He's a Catholic, and yet they attack him. And will say, oh, no, this is this and that, and it's not real history, and blah. Oh, the guy had access to the Vatican library, give me a break, And actually, the Danish Roman Catholic that I talked to that has now banned me, he said, oh, well, but we'll know who actually, because he doesn't believe it, of course, so he said, we'll know because, it's close to them opening up of these things. Well, they have had a couple of years to actually go through the material and remove things that might not be so good, right? So, even if it's, when they open up, even if there's, there should still be some things here and there. But anyway, they have had some time to, fix things and all that. And of course, we know in regards to the Roman Catholic Church, they have a way of actually also be able to, fraud in regards of documents. So, yeah. Anyway, so even if the documents that is left from World War II doesn't look like... I would go with John Conwell. But anyway, okay, let's... because, it adds up with the rest, even if it's not a popular view. And of course, the Roman Catholic Church would not have it, it's really damaging to the church, to the Roman Catholic Church, whatever, the demonic system of this, Let's see where it talks about... notwithstanding the fact that actually, this is actually from... Okay, so we can include the German playwright called The Deputy. Apparently there's a drama thing as well. I'm not sure. Anyway, we can include the popularization of that thesis in John Conwell's Hitler's Pope. Or Pope, I call him. But anyway... Notwithstanding the fact that no serious historian today agrees, how many of these are Roman Catholics are working for this filthy system, Anyway, notwithstanding the fact that no serious historian today agrees with the deconstruction of Pius, the Catholic urban legend of Pius as a Nazi collaborator persists on a popular level because of those two works and a few recent imitators. Wonder in regards of, is that in regards to the embarrassment of riches or something like that? I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, so this guy, this Catholic guy, and again, I don't know if he's actually alive anymore, gets attacked by his fellow Catholics for making a book where he just, put out the information that he found out from the Vatican Library. And it's like, but no serious historian today agrees. Really? No, serious, okay. Like Jesuit taught historians or, people that don't know much and so forward, and didn't have access to the Vatican Library. Is that the, I just, you just get, just, someone is lying. Someone is clearly lying, that's for sure. I've been looking for, I saw, years back, I was doing a lot of investigation in regards to Jews and the Holocaust and so forward. And I remember like a documentary, like 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours. So it was a pretty long video or documentary about the Jews. And remember this letter that, the so-called rabbi wrote a letter, to the Pope, in regards of saving the children of the Jews. And the Pope write back to this so-called rabbi, and it's not a nice letter. It's not a nice letter. That's actually, it's a very, very, I think, demonic letter. And that would fit, also the rest in regards of Nazi. Any case, whatever. But of course they will say, no, that letter was, there's a fraud and this and that. Oh, well, everything is a fraud. Everything that goes against the Roman Catholic Church, oh, it's a fraud. It never happened, this and that. Yeah, okay, well, just how it is, apparently the Roman Catholic Church is just spotless. It's like Snow White, no issues apparently. Like how they are trying to hide away all the pedophile cases, and it's like that other that was like the World Court didn't have jurisdiction in regards of the Vatican and so forth. Well, who is in control? Well, of course the Vatican is in control. Anyway, the last thing they point out is the Da Vinci Code. I have no idea why they would put up that, the Da Vinci Code is, what has that to do with Christianity? So I'm not sure why that would be so anti-Catholic. Yeah. Of course, they have this, I think it's many years I saw, I think there's 2 videos or something like that. Maybe there's more. I haven't really followed along. But one of them, I think they're getting haunted by some kind of Jesuit priest or whatever. But overall, the video in itself has, it's not anything in regards to Protestant thing, at least. But I guess they just talk about anti-Catholic books. But this is also a video, so... But yeah, okay, it's a book, yeah, okay. So, okay, so it's not primarily Protestant, actually. Okay, I get it. Okay, okay, that's fair enough. So the Da Vinci Code, then the... Okay, let's see here. More people, okay. The Da Vinci Code, then the master key to popery, and even the awful disclosures ever reached after all the centuries in publication. Got that out of context, it seems. But the Da Vinci Code, I wouldn't be interested in the Da Vinci Code, as a Protestant. But some of, at least the dragon, the great red dragon thing, that seems to be, I've read a little, and that seems to be, might be an interesting read, at some point, have enough to read, that's for sure. And trying to figure out. I do have a video in regards of a nun. We have a problem in regards of the... But I'm not sure in regards to that video if it has anything bad to say about Roman Catholicism at all. But it shows the Roman Catholic Church and, bowing down before things and, making the upside, the idols. And, it's just disgusting. The only reason why I would have, would see that video would to get some more... see if there's anything I can, can spot of things. Now, of course, it's just it's a video, it's a movie. So I don't know about. But anyway, sometimes you find some gold nuggets, So I guess I'm pretty much. I guess at times go, some of these Catholics might actually. Come up with more Protestant history, That's always interesting to see if they got some good sources that I can use or look into. But anyway, there's more than enough to dig around, and that's for sure. But the thing is, when you haven't grown up as a Protestant and when we have just totally left the things in regards of truth, the thing is, I don't have any first and foremost, by the way, growing up and not, I'm not really good at reading. I'm really bad at reading things. And I guess the people in the past, when they read books, would have been a lot better to actually read books and all that without, it would have been like secondhand nature, and that's not me. It's not really secondhand, it's actually terrible for me reading. And so that's why I want something when I read it that has, I don't want to read something that is just nonsense, I want to read something I can learn from. And anyway, and videos are also pretty great. That's actually, the videos are seemingly our days of ways of. The problem is there's not that many well, of course there's a lot of material, but compared to the books, it seems like there's a lot more books in regards of the material than there actually is in videos. Yeah, we don't really see much about these things. So, but the thing is, I don't have any idea what is the best of the best of the books, So you just have to, if one had been instructed from the beginning to, in regards to this, this is a great book, this is you could be guided, and it would be a lot quicker than to. I think it actually was Eric Phelps that had read 100 books or something like that. He talked about reading a huge amount of books, and then he had taken the best that he had found and scanned them in regards of PDF. And that's awesome, if he honestly, after reading of the Jesuits and getting, and picking the best, that would be, if he actually have done that, that would be awesome. I haven't read the read the books, but that's and some people just chew these books up. They just chew them up. Chew books up like second nature. And if these kind of people that chew books up could just start reading these Protestant books, a lot of truth would be unveiled again to the world. But sadly, people are just so much interested in everything else than, this Protestant, and we're losing more in regards to the Bible, and, just going downhill pretty much. Anyway, I'll stop now, and maybe I should find that non-video, check that out or something like that. Still have some material to go through. I actually just read in regards of the Antichrist, and I've pretty much finished with that. I think some of the things he got wrong, but then again, he also got some things right, that's for sure, in regards of understanding who the Antichrist and the beast and so forward. But some of the things I think he got wrong, but but he also got some things right, that's for sure. So we are, the truth are coming forward. Little by little, it seems like, and there are like Tom Friess, he has studied a lot as well, and an older guy, and he's also putting a lot of stuff out there. And apparently has stopped being in regards to this radio program. Which is very sad. Not sure what was going on there. I would not like to know more about that. Oh well. So that's pretty much it, I guess. I'll stop for now.